topic is to create a Chrome extension that can read some information on the page that you are browsing. So this is the extension. So if I click on this one, it's gonna read this information for you. See, the price is this one and the rent is right here, right? Yeah, it's pretty simple, but there's some settings we need to set up because we're using React and Typescript. Yeah, so let's get started. So first I'm gonna go into here and make a dir. I'm gonna call it extension zero reader. Okay, open it. Zero reader. Okay, and let me open this. So if you want to create a Chrome extension, the first thing you need is a manifest.json file that is pretty much declaring whatever a Chrome extension needs. Like the name of this Chrome extension is gonna be like Zillow Reader, and a description. Read Zillow data. Yeah, and this is kind of required, so we'll have to specify a version 1.0. And one very important thing is that, so they will require you to have this. Let me just copy it over. Manifest version 2. Right now they have 3 about to be launched, but if you try 3 right now, yeah, I can show you right away, it's gonna give you an error. So yeah, after we set this, there should be everything that is required for us to at least load this this extension. So if you go back to the browser and if you go this link, Chrome extensions, yeah, this is the extension I previously created. Let me just remove it and then we can load our own, and it's gonna be in the desktop extension reader like that. And yeah, see this error saying the maximum currently supported manifest version is still 2, so we'll have to just downgrade it to 2. And the version 3 should be coming up like very recently, and it's just not up there yet. So yeah, you can just use 2, and if you use 2 and then go back there, load it, you see there's no error. If you don't believe me, I can just remove it and load it again. Yeah, see there's no error in here. Yeah, so yeah, we'll stick with version 2 for now. It's just the manifest, I don't know, it's the SDK version or something. Yeah, like that. And after that, if you want to load a page, the page would be in this settings. All fixed is you can find everything in the documentation, but in my opinion it's kind of hard to read, so I'll just create it in here. So the browser pop-ups and the default pop-up is gonna be like pop-up.html. Yeah, but we have to create this one by ourselves, so I'm gonna create a pop-up.html there, and if you click this band and then hit enter, is a shortcut in the emit plugin that is by default included in VS Code. Oh, by the way, this is just VS Code, I believe, if you guys know that. Okay, we don't have to use this title. I think there's no way for us to see it, at least as far as I'm concerned. Okay, then I'm just saying hello world here and save it. Okay, then if you go back in here and reload it, oops, there's an error. Browser key browser pop-up. I think I probably Oh, is this misspelled? Browser action. Actually, it's not browser pop-ups, browser action. I'm sorry about that. And action. Save that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's go back and reload it. Okay, right now it's reloaded, and if you go to the extensions, you see the accelerator is right here. Let me pin it so that it shows in the toolbar. And then if you just click on it, hello world, that's whatever we have in here. Yeah, let me change it into something else, and okay, reload it again. Load it again. Yeah, see that this is also updated. Okay, that's pretty much the basic, but right now we're gonna have to install something else so that we can use TypeScript and React. So I'm gonna have to instantiate the packages, the npm packages, so we have to install some like Webpack and all this kind of stuffs. Okay, yeah, let's do it. This is gonna be the very basic setup, so I'm not gonna change a lot of things in here. So in order for us to use React, so I'm gonna use Yarn, but it's pretty much the same with the npm package installer. So I'm gonna have to install the React and React DOM first. This is definitely the bare bone we have to include inside in here. Okay, if you wanna, I probably need to just git init it, but after you init it, see that there's a lot of files that in here we have to also create a git ignore in here to include, to exclude, to check into some of the files, which is the like node module file. See, that is grayed out because I included in here. I'm not sure if anyone need that information to be filled in. Yeah, like that. And right now we can use React, but remember I still want to use TypeScript. But in order to use TypeScript, we have to include Webpack as well. Webpack is pretty much like a bundler to like translate, or I shouldn't say translate, but it's so that the browser cannot read TypeScript at once. So that the engine requires the TypeScript be translated into JavaScript to be read by the browser. So this Webpack is with some helps of the TypeScript compiler can do this for us. We don't need Bible in this case. So I believe this is kind of actually easier for us to set up. So I'm gonna, yeah, but we don't need to add it in the development dependency. Yeah, we will add in the development dependency so that it's not gonna be packed into the production build. So at D is pretty much what we do. We will add these dependencies in the dev dependency, Webpack and Webpack CLI. Webpack CLI is just to allow us to run some Webpack commands inside the command line tools. So it's nothing fancy. We're not gonna use directly this Webpack CLI in the code. Yeah, and also TS loader. See, this is the one that is actually helps Webpack to understand the TypeScript and do heavy lifting for TypeScript to translate the TypeScript code to JavaScript. Okay, and also TypeScript. This is the compiler that is also helping the TypeScript loader to do the jobs. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we need to do right now. Let me see, there's definitely some other plugins, plugins that we'll need to do. Okay, so in order to use Webpack, I will have to create a webpack.config.js. This is the, by default, if you run the Webpack command by default is going to use this one, otherwise you will have to specify it with some like other settings. So to keep it simple, I'll just use this one. And also to run this Webpack, I'll just include a script in here, which is just the Webpack, because I'm like too lazy to write it every time. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So right now, I believe we have to just specify something here. We'll need a like path. This is from Node.js. We will need the resolve function. This is pretty much help us to locate some files inside our loader, inside our directory, I mean. And then this is pretty much just the template codes that I'm gonna write really quickly and explain. Module exports is equal to, okay, first we will need to specify our entry of this file. So the entry will be like we'll name this entry to be pop up, because we're probably gonna have some other things inside there. So I'm gonna create a src folder that has something. Okay, let me just create it first. The src is the source of our things that and also how I'm gonna structure it. Pop-up page, I'm gonna do it in the pop-up page, and then first I will need a pop-up.html. remember, this is pretty much like this one, like this one here. So I'm gonna copy this. I actually don't need this. I just delete it and then do it all over in here. Delete this. So as you might already know that, okay, I don't need an ID in here. I'll explain really quickly. Pop up. So this is pretty much the hook point for our React code to find that where should our React code take effect. So this is the point that we need for the React code to get access to this HTML page. So given that, we will have a pop-up.tsx. tsx is TypeScript extension, I'm not sure. So it's pretty much allowing us to write some like HTML-like code in here. And okay, so I'm gonna have to import React from React, but actually I have a shortcut for it, which is React functional component that is doing a lot of things for me. So this is actually pop up, and I'm gonna just do pop up page for now. This is functional component, so I'm gonna pretty much use functional components because I believe that's kind of easier in this case. So in this page, this is probably gonna be rendered inside here, but in order to help it find this point, I'll have to import another one, which is react_DOM. The function is called render from react_DOM. react_DOM actually. react_DOM is kind of another library. Yeah. So after that, so I'll call render function, and I'm gonna render this thing. Remember, this is the JSX syntax to pretty much this one. Render this one on which the point is document.getElementById that I named it pop up, I believe. So if you go back in here saying it's pop up, yeah, like that. So this part should be, wait, what is, oh, it is because this is TypeScript and this one probably not included in there. So I'm gonna have to add some like types in here that is declaring all the types that JavaScript don't have. The types will be like React and types of React DOM, I believe. Okay, after I install this, that should be gone. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, one more thing is because we're using this. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on this. Okay, so I'll create an output, because right now we know where to find our source files, but we don't know where to put them. Like after we translate it, where should I put it? So in this case, I'm gonna say whatever you find in here, the JSX files. Oh, by the way, it's only gonna find the JSX files. The JS files, the TypeScript files, it's kind of gonna ignore this, but we'll have a plugin for us to help dealing with this HTML files. So, but for now, it's gonna output to a disk folder that I already have that. Let me just copy paste it over here and explain it. Okay, so actually this part. So this is just the name extension, the placeholder that is coming from actually here. So if we don't mention this one, everything is gonna compile into one single file called whatever the default name is. But if we put it in here, if we have like multiple entrants, like probably this one is gonna be main or something, it's gonna be compiled into a single file that is probably required from this file, because I'm gonna have another file later on, but right now just focus on this part. So the pop-up file, which is this one, is gonna be compiled and put into this disk folder. That in here, this resolve, this dir name is pretty much this one. So it's gonna create a new disk folder under here and then put the compiled file into the disk folder like that. So that's pretty much everything we need for now. And let's see if we can. Oh, by the way, this pop-up file, I'll need to say more to help it locate this file. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say it like separately. Yeah, this way it's gonna ignore this file. It's just gonna focus on this one. So this file is gonna compile into a. Oh yeah, we will see it in action, I think. Okay. Right now I'm gonna compile, but there's definitely gonna be an error in here. So yarn, remember I have the dev command in here. It's gonna run Webpack. It's pretty much the same. If I run it, it's gonna give us an error. Oh, this one is easy to fix. So let's fix this one first. This mode is kind of required, but it's not giving a lot of interesting things. Yeah, so we'll just put it in here. It's the development. It is because there's two modes, development and production. But right now we're in development, so I just put it in here. Production is just gonna give some optimizations on the code. Yeah. And actually, the error I want to mention is because Webpack only Node.js code. It doesn't know this TSX extension, and it has no way to figure out how to deal with it. So the way we help it to deal with it is to let it know module. Oh, by the way, let me just do some copy paste and I'll explain it. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so this is pretty much telling it to know that certain files, although it's not JavaScript file, you should handle it for me as well. And there's some certain rules in here that we will have to tell Webpack. The rules is like this. This is like a regular expression. It's saying, okay, whatever is ended, this $sign is saying it's ended with .tsx. X is like optional in here. If it's ending to ts or ending to tsx, end with tsx. Okay, exclude everything inside the node modules, because node modules, the libraries we include is already handled everything for us, so we don't have to do anything with that, with anything in there, the TypeScript files in there. Okay, everything end with tsx, we're gonna use TS loader, which we just installed in the dev dependency. Okay, we're gonna use TS loader to do the translation for us. Okay, wow, that's pretty much it. But remember, TS loader is also gonna use the TypeScript compiler, which is right here. We also included that, and TypeScript compiler has a TS config that can direct the compiler how it's gonna handle all this TypeScript code and how to translate it. And yeah, we will need to TSC. We'll need to include that as well, like this. So if you run this command npx tsx init, it's gonna be in here. Yeah, like this. So I'm gonna make very quick changes on that because we're using we have to let this one know that we're using React. See, this is auto generated. We can do React Native or React. So right now we will choose React. And the target, see that the Chrome extension is actually a very good example because we don't have to worry about the IE or the older browser compatibility issues. We can just use ES6. ES6 is the like a kind of a modern JavaScript, ES 2015 modern JavaScript. That's gonna make our life a bit easier. So yeah, so this is used by the TSC, the TypeScript compiler. And I think that's it. That's everything we need to change. You probably don't even need to change it, but it's kind of, I would like to keep my demo simple as possible. So we change it. Okay, yeah, let's go back in here. This code is pretty much doing this, and it's gonna use the TypeScript compiler right now. Yeah, let's see if we can possibly run into other issues. Let's run the Webpack again. Okay, everything is right now in here, but in order for us to run this, we will still need the HTML and also the manifest in here as well. So how can we do that? So we want to include some Webpack plugins in here. So I'll include it first. So the Webpack plugin is the first one is HTML Webpack plugin, and the other one is, I believe, copy Webpack plugin. Yeah, so we're gonna need these two plugins. The plugin is pretty much like a Webpack lifecycle hook. So it's gonna run something during the Webpack bundling process. So Webpack, the first one, the HTML Webpack plugin is gonna just inject a HTML file into the folder that while we're bundling. Okay, the way to use it is to have a const. Okay, have a just copy this one over. Oh, actually, there's something I missed, so I'll add another plugin dependency in here, which is called clean Webpack Plugin. I think we probably don't need this 100% in this project, but it's like a kind of a good habit to include it. It's pretty much doing things like before we bundling something into the disk folder, we will clean the disk folder first, but it will leave this directory. The disk folder is still there. It just cleans up everything inside the disk folder. Okay, yeah, enough talk. So I'm gonna do this. So all the plugins is right here. Is like boilerplate code. I don't wanna waste a lot of time on this. So this HTML file is gonna look for a template in here. It's gonna look for a template by this directions. It's right here in this folder, and it's gonna compile it into the disk folder with the name popup.html. That's gonna be the name after this is done compiling and is put into the disk folder. And the other thing to do is like remember this chunks. Chunks is like in here. It's the same as this one, and it's gonna inject. It's gonna run this Typescript inside this HTML. So it's gonna add one line. So I'll just run it really quick, and you can see it right now. And just ignore this for now. Ignore this for now. Okay, I'm gonna save it and yarn dev. Okay, so right now we'll have to import it. HTML Webpack Plugin. Const is equal to require HTML Webpack Plugin, and also this clean Webpack plugin. But the way they import is kind of different. Clean Webpack plugin. So you remember this, include this curly braces, gonna deconstruct it. Clean Webpack plugin. Okay, everything is in place. Okay, right now it should working. Oops. Yeah, it's kind of working. Okay, why it's not as pop-up window? Oh, that is because I didn't include in the sorry about that. You have to include in the exports, otherwise this plugin will not work. Okay, yeah, right now let's run the Webpack again, and you can see it's right there. But if you take a look at this, see this scripts line is included, but if you take a look at the template, there's no script in there. That's what the plugin is doing for us. Okay, then I guess we will do the copy, and because we also need this manifest. Remember, if you want to load it in the Google Chrome browser, you will need this manifest. So how we're gonna do it? So it's with the help of this copy something, the copy Webpack plugin. So I'm gonna create a folder that with everything called public, that with everything we want to put into the disk folder in here, right? That's pretty much it. This is just the standard. That means move everything from the public folder to the this folder. This folder is our like output folder in here. Yeah, like that. So if I say this and we run yarb again, Webpack reference, copy Webpack. Oh, sorry, another mistake. Copy Webpack plugin is equal to require copy. Okay, include this and then run it again. So always remember to include all the dependencies that you need. Okay, then yeah, everything should be in there and it's running this JavaScript compile. And let me just double check, is there something in there? Okay, so we can go back and reload it. Fail to reload. Manifest. Oh, that is because, yeah, we're holding to remove it. That is because the package changed direction. The directory has changed. That's why we need to include this. Okay, the file is loaded, and there's other thing I will need to do is to pin it in there. Accelerator, and there's an arrow. Let's take a look at that. Oh, yeah, this is like a weird error because I mean in Webpack there's a like a source map, because the code, this code is like it's quite unreadable. That is the compiled file is quite unreadable, so there's a source map for it to work. So you can debug more simpler, but this one is actually giving us a error because it's using the eval keyword. The eval keyword is forbidden if you want to run it in the background script or in the Chrome extension area. So one solution is to change into production. If I change into production, I run it again, compile it, and then clear all, go back, it's reloaded. Okay, then it's reloaded, and then you can see the pop-up page in here, which is the pop-up page 1, 2, 3. Change it. Okay, let's wait for it to finish. Okay, pop-up 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's pretty much. And there's also another solution to include something like the dev tool to be something else. That I look it up. This one would work. So this is pretty much directing how the source maps are supposed to look. So this is pretty much just gonna generate a map JS for us. So if you do this and then change it back to development, take a look at this. There's just gonna be an extra thing in there. Okay, see that this map thing in there is previously is not. Yeah, but you can do either way. I'll just leave it in here so that we don't run into the issue. So if you go back and then reload it, see this also reloaded and the pop-up is still there. Okay, so with everything like that, I think we're good to enter into the next phase, which is to read something from the page. The way we do that is, okay, first let me just create a comment here at all. Oh, by the way, I shouldn't hit check. I need to change something else. It is because the disk, we don't want it to be inside our, I mean, sorry, it's not git reset. We don't want it to be inside our repository. So I'm gonna do this like in here. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. And in the manifest, so the okay, what should I do? Okay, let me commit first, because we're in a good place to do the commits. Commit. Okay, init project. Yeah. So the second phase is to read something from the browser, that the page that we're currently reading. The way we do that is to add something else in the manifest. It's the content script. I just copy paste a bunch of stuff. I'll explain. The content script is whatever it's gonna be run inside the page that we're loading. For example, inside this page. Yeah, let me show you. And this matches URL is it's like a filter. Right now I'm not filtering anything. It's gonna run every page that we load, but you can definitely do some like filtering in here. It's just simpler to put in here, and I'm pretty sure this expression is gonna be used by a lot of people, so I just include in here. And the JS file is whatever we're gonna run. So let's create a content script. Hopefully I'm not spelling it wrong. Right now I'm just gonna be console log content script from the load reader. Okay, yeah, like that. And since we added one file in here, we're also gonna have to change something in here. So oops. Content script. Let me just help Webpack to locate this file. It's content script.ts. Yeah, and it's also gonna be compiled in here. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. Let me just run the yarn dev again. Everything is there, and let me check. Content script is there. There's another source map in here. Just ignore it. It's not used anywhere. And also the manifest. I'll check content script. Hopefully it's the same name. Okay, and I guess we're good to test it out. Let's reload it. Yeah. So I'm gonna open this browser here. As you can see, this page is, if I refresh this page, see that this content script from Zillow Reader is printed. So, which means this script is actually have access to all the things that in this page. It is because this script is actually injected into this page to run. So we can do some like fancy stuff in here as well. Like pretty much we can get the displays in here. For example, if you go to a page, for example, if you go to this page and you can read this thing in here. The way you read this is by located. Wait, what? By located in here. If you use this tool, and you can locate this thing in here. And as you can see, there's a couple of things we need to dig into to get access into this DOM, so that we can read the inner text in here. I'll show you really quick what I mean. So I'm gonna do another copy paste, get prex. So if you use this one, I already have the drillings in here. Pretty much is the document is all the displays, the DOMs in here. I'll just query by the selectors. I'll just first find a div with a class name ds summary row. As you can see, ds summary row is right there, ds summary row. And inside there, there's a h4 tag. And inside the h4 tag, inside h4, there's a span. Okay, there's a span in here. I'm just locating this one. And I'll ask for the inner text, which is this one. So yeah, like that. So I'm gonna, okay, this is actually just a helper function. I'll just console log price is equal to get price. Nope, it's not gonna allow me to put it. Yeah, this is the right order. Do that. Okay, let me save it, and then if I run this script right now, you can see I should be able to log. It's loaded, and as you can see, if I go there, clear it, I should be able to log this 700 or something. Oh yeah, it's right there. Okay, so we have this price already, but we still need to find a way to, to get it display inside our page like that. So the way we do that is to go to there, go to the pop-up page in here. So I'll run, there's a kind of a lifecycle method sort of thing. It's called use effect. It's not a lifecycle method, I know, but it is kind of the similar stuff. So if I type it like this, so this one means only run this effect when this pop-up is first loaded, and don't run it anything else. Don't run anytime else. So this effect is only gonna run once when the page is loaded, and I'm gonna send something to this to the tab that is opened in here to trigger my reading. So the screen reader to get the information, and there will be a callback. I'll show you really quick. So first I'll need to locate which tab. Remember, there's a couple of tabs that open, but I need the tab that is currently active. So the way I do that is to do Chrome. Oh, by the way, because Typescript has a very good intelligence, so if you install this at -tabs Chrome, it's gonna give you some intelligence, so that's gonna save you a lot of time. So tabs query, I'm gonna get one of the tabs, and that tab is the one that is active, and that is the current viewed window. So I'm saying current window is true, and then also it's active, TRUE active. And then I'm gonna give it a callback. So result, whatever the result is, I'm gonna do something with it. So right now I can just do console log the zero read data and log it result. Let's see. Okay. Oh, actually, sorry about that. This is actually the tabs that is actually active, not the something. So this is actually gonna query the current window, current tab, and this is gonna give the current tab. It's like because this is asynchronous, So the result is passed in as an asynchronous function, and then we can get the tabs opened in here. And the way we get the current tab ID so that we can locate this page and trigger the reading. So if we get the ID, we know which page to read. So this ID is gonna be, so first we'll need to know that the length of these tabs is not equal to 0. So if it's equal to 0, it means this is just a empty string. There's no active windows, which I don't think there's a case for that, but we will need to handle it. Otherwise, this value is going to be an optional. It's going to give us a lot of headaches to write on. So if it's 0, which means it's a nil, we'll just give it a default value is 0. And then if it's length 0, oh, sorry about that. This is a ternary operator. I kind of miswritten it. I'm sorry, it's kind of late, and I think it's not making a lot of sense. But yes, so if it's not 0, I'll just get the first tab showed up and get the ID. And I know this is definitely not null, so give it a bang here, exclamation mark. So as long as I got the current ID, I can send a message to this tab. The way I send a message is Chrome runtime, I think. Give me a second. Chrome, no, it's not runtime. Runtime is, so I'm gonna send a message to the tabs. Wait. Yes, send message to the tabs. And which tab? The tab ID is the current tab ID. As you can see, there's an intelligence that's directing you and what message you want to send. This is, for now, we don't have to send any message to that because we only send once. So if you send multiple times, and maybe this could be a tag to distinguish this message to be sent. And also a response callback, so whatever is sent back from there, response. And I'm gonna do some, this is the arrow function. It's pretty much like a function, anonymous function, and log this. So first I will just log this response from content response. So what is this response? It's actually send message is sending it to the, let me put it in here a little so that it's closer. It's sending message to this tab, to this tab. And by the way, we can listen to this send message in here. And the way we listen to it is through runtime and on message. We have to add a listener because the message is sent to this event, and we'll add a listener for that. And inside the listener, we'll have that. Oh, see that this is the intelligence, message, sender, and the callback. Yeah, and right now in here, since we already have this text, I can just do callback, and then send the message back. The message would be just a price and get price text, like that. Okay, then I guess we can do it now. I made a mistake in here. I shouldn't say 0. It's equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, I'll give it a default value. Otherwise, I'll just use the tabs ID. Then, okay, I'm gonna set the tabs ID in here, and yeah, this should print the result for us. And then if you go back in here, the message should be sent in here, sent to this listener in here, and then we'll print something about this sender in here, and then do the callback. And this data is actually passed back in here, which is the response, so that we can log it in there. Okay, so after this, all these changes, let's run the yarn dev again to build the Webpack. And then go back in here, clear it all, to reload it. And then here we'll just do a quick refresh. Let it finish a little bit. Clear it. And then here, message received from sender, blah, blah, blah. And if you go back to the extension, I'm sorry. And if you just click in here and inspect the pop-up, and you can see response from content price, which is this price in here. Okay, then since we already got this express response in here, we will use another React knowledge to display it, which is the state hook. Use state hook content that set content is equal to use state, and first is not applicable. After the set, it will be displaying the data that is given back from the content script, and then we will display it in here like that. So we don't need this anymore. Also don't need this. Just debugging. Okay. Build it again. We're almost there. Sorry about that. Yeah. Refresh it and then reload it. We'll have to wait for the page to finish loading, and then let's click in here. See the price is right there. And also we will have to make this pop up a little bit wider. The way we can do inline style in here width is 300 pixels. I think that's it. That's gonna make the pop-up wider. And also we will need another query to query the rent, which I already have in here. I will just copy paste it over in here. Okay, and then we can say rent is equal to get rent text, like that. And if you go back in here, check it again, this should be everything. Let's rebuild it. Okay, reload this, it's reloaded, refresh. Okay, yeah, it should be loaded, and then clicking here, you can say price rent. If you go down in here, the rent should be there. And we can try another school, Arcadia. Wait, there's no school. The price is pretty high in here in California. There's no such a what. Okay, let's choose what. Oh man, that's so expensive. Okay, let's try this. See that this price in here really can rent $11,000 something dollars. Who's gonna run that? Jesus. Okay, yeah, I guess that's it. So with this knowledge, I think you can calculate some ROIs in here, like to time it with 12 and then do some ROI calculations. Okay, hope you guys enjoy it. Sorry, it's kind of running long, and okay, cool.